Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science or Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're going to talk about Canon R10. So let's dive right into it. Now first thing you have to understand, these cameras, basically two cameras have been announced. They are starter APS-C cameras, meaning they're supposed to get your feet wet into photography utilizing Canon's mirrorless system. And they're subcategory between basically inside R mount. R mount has like a main mount itself and the full frame camera bodies and a series of lenses. So it's a subcategory inside that. So it has what we call independent lens chain, which is RF-S lens. EF also had the same thing, EF lens and EF-S lens. Same is here, RF and RF-S lenses. And so far two camera bodies and two lenses have been announced about this. Now R7 and R10 was that. R7, we are talking about R7, is the lower end model of this. And the whole point from Canon's point of view is like help people get into the Canon system, because you have to understand right now, even still, a lot of people are buying DSLR, Canon DSLR, not the pro end one, but the basically low end, 80D, 800D, 90D, 850D. I have 800D. So again, but I bought it, I think like 5-6 years ago. So that's the whole point. Basically, Canon wants to remove that EF mount system slowly, and they have already announced they're not going to make any new lenses. They have already announced they're not going to make any pro end basically DSLRs for it. Slowly they are shifting it. Now low end DSLRs are still going on, so they are slowly starting to fade it away. It's like go away. Now, what is the cost of this? Cost is around 81,000 rupees and 1,82,000 rupees for the higher end model R7. And they have also announced two lenses that are like RF lenses, which is 46,000 rupees and 29,000 rupees. So expensive, but not ludicrously expensive. So this is the starter pack. So what about Canon EOS R10, which we are talking about here? It's a really good camera for almost everyone, especially who is starting to do things in this point in time. It's cheaper than Canon EOS RP, and it's really tragic for Canon's point of view, because I truly wanted Canon to only make full frame lenses, simply because mobile phone at this point in time is horrifyingly close. Meaning by 2020, mobile phones were like good. By 2021, they became scary good. By 2022, they're like, dude, at this point in time, people are freaking out like how good mobile phones have become. Imagine 2 years from now. Like that's the growth, the AI growth, the development, the fine tuning. Because be mindful, we got the horsepower long ago, like around 3-4 years ago. Mobile phone equipment, the hardware got the horsepower. We just did not know a way to utilize it. Now the AI has finally started to be there. The software optimization have reached a point where it's like flat out. You pull out your mobile phone, you take a photo, and the person pulls out a DSLR, takes the photo. Unless it's a wildlife bird photography, long range telephoto photography, or in almost all scenario, it will get bitch slapped by mobile phones. So flat out, it's a scenario where only full frame cameras at least have some tangible benefit, where they're like, it's still far ahead, because you can literally tell the look apart of APS-C camera, full frame camera, and mobile phone camera. You really can't tell it apart if you have APS-C that does not have latest and greatest. So having Canon EOS RP should be a better choice? Well, no. While the sensor is full frame, it's very old sensor, and the processor on top of that is even older. So it's very compromised camera compared to R10. R10 is like, I will give you everything except the sensor, and RP is like, only the sensor is there. Everything else is like, very bare minimum, cut down cost. Basically, it also has the same thing, like same battery. So for many people, from a performance point of view, from a usability point of view, RP is not a desirable thing. Unless you are a photographer only. In those sort of scenarios, especially if you want to take portraiture and you really want that background blur, there is no point putting f2.8 70-200 lens on a cropped sensor. You want to get the full performance of it, get it a full frame. So in those sort of scenarios, it still does make sense. That's why RP is not discontinued, but it's very compromised. It's like RP will hurt you. This is like, everything is awesome, I just wish it was actually utilizing the full frame. So that's there. And this camera launch actually kind of proved to me that Canon is ludicrously slow, because European Union removed the law from that 30-minute recording limit law a few years ago. And Sony, the moment European Union announced it, so even the cheapest Sony started to get it instantly. Like A6100 was the cheapest camera that did not have 30-minute recording limit. And every camera launched after that was like, no recording limit. Now Canon EOS RP was launched after that. I was like this close to buying it if it did not have 30-minute limit. It did had a lot of other crippling things, like 4K, but it's like cropped to this much. It's like, why? Again, I did not care about it. Like they will disable autofocus in 4K. I did not care. I was happy with full HD. I'm still shooting in full HD. I was okay with that. It's just like 30-minute recording limit. I have the same battery, lenses for it, everything I already had. I just had to buy one adapter and I would have been happy. But that recording limit, which frustrated me. Only now they are like, you know what, no more recording limit. I'm happy. It took them few years, but at least I'm happy now. And this camera can do 4K 30 FPS oversampled, 4K 60 FPS, cropped. Yes, cropped inside a crop sensor. So be mindful, it will make your basically wide angle into a telephoto lens. And full HD can go up to 120 FPS, which is good. Now the megapixel, they are saving the money is 24 megapixel crop sensor. Now Canon is claiming this is a new sensor, but it does not have latest technology. For example, it's not a stacked sensor, it's not a BSI sensor, nor it's a global shutter. So it is a basic bit sensor, and it does not have in-body image stabilization, which means you have to buy lenses that have in-body image stabilization. Thankfully, Canon lineup is very good in that, so you will not have an issue. It does have flip screen, which is thank you. Finally, somebody understood like flip screen can work for everyone. It can work for photographer and it can work for videographer. So why the hell you will have something else? Why would you want to, alienate your own basically customers? So that's good. It's single card slot, so it's inherently focused on like enthusiast kind of market, not something that you cannot do retakes on. Basically, sports photography, birds photography, and wedding photography. You have to have dual card slot. So this is not that. R7 is that. So this is Canon EOS R10. Now, what about the performance? Well, here you have to understand, it's ludicrously high performance, meaning you'll be like, there is no other camera at this price point from any company, meaning Sony and Canon and Fuji, that even comes close to the performance of this. Like, how the heck it can have that kind of performance? This puppy, Digic-X. Now, Canon is doing what we call smart thing, meaning they work their ass off, they develop the Digic-X processor rather than creating a crippled down version or like, low power version or utilizing old version, which they did with Canon RP. They're like, how about we just bulk order this processor? That's smart. That's smart. That's like if we're only using Digic-X in like 5 or 6 models in our whole lineup, we can just bulk order it, reducing the price. That's smart. That's smart. So they are using that. And benefit of that, this is a flagship processor. And benefit is great autofocus, meaning this autofocus can almost beat A6000 series from Sony. So Sony was really good from APS-C and lineup, but now this is like, no, you good, but I'm better. So this is fundamentally really good. Burst rate is also very good, 15 FPS, which mind you, A7S4 cannot do. And it also has the same thing. They are using the same flagship A1 processor into A7 Mark IV, but they are limiting it, software limiting. They are like, here they are like, how about you go free? Again, I'm pretty sure even though 15 FPS may be the mechanical shutter limit, but the electronic can easily go higher than that. So they are still throttling a bit, but still much better than competition. It does have multi-function shoe, which you will not get if you bought Canon RP. That means if you are doing vlogging setup and you want to use Canon microphone, that's awesome. You can do that. It does not have overheating because this processor is much better, and that's the primary reason. Because of Digic-X, it can do 6K undersample for 4K. So that means flat out. This is why I'm saying there is no competition at this price point in APS-C. You may get some camera that has like better build quality, better usability, like basically Panasonic system, but good luck with autofocus. So flat out, from a technical point of view, if you buy this camera, there is not a single point where you're like, I wish it had this. You can say that, but like people will say at this price point, no. So this is the one point where you do not have to think about it. Only thing you are compromising is crop sensor, nothing else. Everything else other than that is like good. So should you buy it or not? Now, one thing you have to know, this is one thing I have noticed because again, I only use very cheap mobile phones. I've never noticed that mobile phones have become horrifyingly good. So I would urge you, especially looking at the price, because be mindful, I'm following cameras for long ago, as in like D32-100, D30-100 kind of Nikon days. The prices were very acceptable for like starting out. It's like, you can get your feet wet. 80,000 is expensive. I do understand inflation. I do understand like, war is going on and all that jazz, but still it's like painful kind of expensive. So I would urge you to look into mobile phones, specifically if you have not bought any flagship mobile phone recently, especially new ones. So if you are spending 80,000 just on the camera body and you have to spend at least 10,000 or 20,000 to get lenses for it, I would urge you to try buying that kind of flagship mobile phone and test it out in a shop. Test it out. Do not watch reviews, do not watch, just test it out. Your inner self will tell you, you know what, this is much better for me, or you know what, I think I still buy for camera. That's up to you, but please test it. Please give it a fair shot. That's all I'm asking. Give it a fair shot, because you would be surprised how close it is to APS-C sensor performance. Not full frame, flagship full frame, that's like still like, I got this. That's why like even the Red is also moving into bigger and bigger sensor, and RA is like 65mm sensor, baby. So there is a reason why you want to have big sensor, and there is a reason why we keep making bigger and bigger telescopes. You have to do that. Physics does not like small sensors, but there is a limit, especially at small sensors. So like mobile phone, APS-C, not that far apart anymore. So I would urge you to look into it. And in terms of Canon itself, if you have the money, people would say go for R7. I will cover this next week, but R7 does have a bit more oomph to it and better sensor, 33 megapixel. So I would urge you to, if you decide to buy this, do not buy RF-S lenses. Don't buy that. Buy RF full frame lenses, because you have to understand full frame lenses always go up in price, because you can literally trace the graph in any shopping site. You will always find that unless you're buying second hand, the price always continuously goes up. So it's much better investment point of view that you buy RF glasses, because again, RF glasses is made for highest quality possible. And quality is one thing you cannot compromise on. If your quality is garbage, it's like, what's the point of having a mirrorless? So prices only go up. So from a financial point of view, just buy full frame right now. And be mindful with the purchase. So this is one thing that this was a common thing that people do. When entirety of IT industry, it was a common thing to do. It's like you got your first salary, once you have like, settled a bit, you get a mobile phone, you get a DSLR. And now nobody does that with DSLR because they are garbage. Even this camera, like compared to usability side of thing, I'm not talking performance. Performance is good, but think of it this way. It's like it is an amazing car that is like, 800 horsepower, amazing mileage, everything is awesome, very silent, very good driving. But when you sit inside the chair, it's like it's cramped and it hurts your back. You'll be like, no, thank you. So that's the same issue with these cameras also, because they have the cost, they are expensive equipment, but they're still garbage. Like compare their usability to any mobile phone. They still do not allow you to transfer raw files. You can edit raw files on your mobile phone, and I'm talking camera level raw, but they will like, no, we will not let you transfer. Why? No, we will not let you. It does not have GPS time lock. Why? Because no, we will not give you latest and greatest. It does have Bluetooth, but does not allow you to connect headsets. Why? Because F the customer. So it's not good. That's why I'm saying usability is a very important thing, especially for enthusiasts. And if you are in those sort of category, please try to give a mobile phone of this price caliber. Do not compare a 30,000 mobile phone with 80,000 DSLR or mirrorless. 80,000 mobile phone versus 80,000 body only, then you will see. And again, it's up to you. You may find like there is a psychological boost of having a camera. If that's important for you, go for it. But I would urge you to be mindful with your purchase. That's all. So this was my review of Canon R10, EOS R10. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.